So, well, what you been up to, man?
Oh, just watching all these quarantine live things like Casey Donahue and Cody Johnson and those guys. They have like these live hour and a half streams on Facebook and YouTube, and
Yeah, I've
it's like
seen that,
watching their concert. And, dude, you would
dude.
laugh. Casey Donahue is freaking hilarious, man. Like he's texting Josh Abbott and just talking. They're talking shit to each other, and Josh Abbott was like, "Oh, how many songs you got about the stockyards?" And Casey Donahue goes, "Well, how many fucking songs you got about Texas?" And they're just talking crap to each other. I love
That's awesome.
it.
I'm liking that they're all doing that too, man. That's cool. Um, that they're all doing the live videos. I haven't seen a whole lot of them. I saw Wade Bowen's. His was pretty good. I liked his.
Oh yeah, with Randy
Um,
Rogers.
yeah, they had a real good little set. And then I saw that Luke Combs did one too. That was pretty good. He only
Yeah,
did like 4 songs, but his was good. I liked it.
he
But
looked like he had the dang coronavirus, man. He was like sweating his butt off, and
I
he was
I
like,
think he was drinking. I honestly think he was maybe drinking a little whiskey, man, because like he had that red Solo cup. And I don't know about you, but when I'm drinking that whiskey,
mm-hmm.
it makes me sweaty, dude. Like not all the time, but like if you're like whenever you first take like a good little shot of it, it kind of heats you up a little bit, you know.
Well, he
He's
said
also
that he
large too.
yeah, he's a big dude. He said he turned off the air condition in that room, and I guess in Nashville it's probably pretty warm, so that's probably why he was sweating. But it was just kind of funny because he like started coughing and he spilled it on his shirt, and he was like, "Well, this is one way to start it off." So
God, he got that Corona, man, with the cough, man. Dude, you got to watch out for that. And fuck Corona, man. I can't go golf anywhere. It
yeah,
was such a beautiful
yeah,
day today, dude. Whenever you were talking about golfing earlier today, I was like, man, that's a good fucking idea. And then,
yeah. I can't go anywhere, so I can just dream
yeah,
about
and
golfing.
yeah, well, I was like, that's a good idea. And then I started thinking about it, and I said, shit, everything's closed right now. Like, so I was like, I
Well,
can't go anywhere to go golf. So
everything's closed here except one of the golf courses is open, and they're not allowing any more than 6 employees to work at the clubhouse. Um, you pay like over the phone, like on your app, and then you cannot play in groups of more than four, and the tee times are 15 minutes apart from each other. And then when you hit the ball into the hole, it pops it right back out to you, so you don't have to reach into the hole.
well,
So
hold on. They popped the ball out of the hole.
yeah, yeah. So
Like
it's
how,
like a little It's like a mechanism. I don't know. I don't think it goes into the hole. So I think it's just like a. It's like a. I haven't seen it. It's like a little lever that pops it back out. Kind of
dude,
like. I,
dude, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Whenever Corona goes away, they need to
yeah,
keep that shit out there.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
such
yeah. I
a
don't have
pain
to
in the
reach
ass to
down.
like, yeah, pop it out and then I just scoop it up with my putter, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
make it
yeah.
look like I always like to scoop the ball up with my putter when I'm done because it makes me look like
Flip
I'm
it up in
better than
the
what I
air.
am. Yeah, makes me look like I know what I'm doing out there.
Yeah. Last year, man, around this time, I went golfing, and there's this hole in Minot that, or this course in Minot that it's like the ninth hole or 10th hole. It's on top of this giant hill, and it's probably, I don't know, like 40, 50 feet up from where the fairway is. And you have to drive off this hill. And of course you just want to bomb it, right? Like that's all you're thinking. It's a
Yeah.
par five. Like I'm just going to stroke this like 400 yards and we'll be good. And, my man, I swear to you, we started on the back nine. So it was like my second hole, and I was swinging, and I go to hit it, and it felt good, and I just whipped, and it goes beep, right down the hill, like 10 yards, boop, boop, all the way down. I was like, oh no, this is gonna be a long season.
At least it was going downhill though.
Well, but
That's the one plus.
what was good about last year, man, is like I always had a bad slice on my drive, and I straightened it out, and I was able to stroke the ball like, I mean, I was like in the
Yeah.
260s pretty consistently, and it's just the short game that was all screwed up. So
Yeah, it's my whole game that's screwed up.
I mean,
I'll
golf's
get
much fun. You
I'll
can go
get maybe
play.
I'll get maybe get 4 or 5 straight drives on a whole 18 holes. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Or you can
but
like what we did
it,
back at what's it called? sand hills, you aim way to the left, like, all right, I'm gonna hit it, and then just curve around.
Dude, that used to be the best, man. Especially on that first hole there, because like it kind of
Yeah,
hooked anyways. So
yeah.
like if you hit it just right, it'd roll right
Well,
up.
well, hell, if you hit it
But
right on that first hole, anyways, you could go play from the freaking ninth hole
yeah,
or eighth or no, but
ninth
it didn't
hole
matter.
fairway.
You
Yeah,
just hit it
is the
back
ninth
in.
hole fairway because that ninth hole was a par five, wasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
so like you could just hit from that one. It wasn't like there was a whole lot of trees in your way on those
Man,
between those two fairways.
so I got a question for you for my Sand Hill folks out there. What
Oh
was
shit.
harder, that the par five that had the pond in between it, or the par five at the end? Which one's tougher?
Oh, dude, I want to say par five with the pond in it. I can't tell
Yeah,
you how
yeah,
many fucking balls I lost in there, man. I hit so many because I would always hit it where it would land just short of it,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
I'd be like, okay, good, man, this is gonna be easy clear. And then I'd top the hell out of the ball and it goes straight
Well,
into the pond. I think the pond just always wigged me out, man. So therefore, like, I always thought that it was gonna always thought I had to like, muscle up on it. So I'd always top it. I lost so many balls at that point. At least like with the ninth hole par four, I felt like you had kind of like the same thing with that par four on hole one. If you shank it, you at least got two other fairways that
yeah,
technically are
yeah.
out of bounds, but hey, you can still use them.
Hey,
So,
no, that hole. I always want to play on the whites at that hole because I don't want to hit that little lane through the trees,
oh,
and
dude, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that one
I
I'd
for,
always
I
end
for,
up in the trees.
I always forgot about those damn trees, man.
Well, because we
I
always
always
play on the
forgot about that.
whites.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, because if you went, because you had to go to like a little like roundabout back there
Yeah,
on the cart path just to get to it. I remember that,
yeah.
dude. Yeah,
Shout out to old Wesley Jensen and Gifford on that one, man. Had
yeah,
some fun times at that golf course.
yeah.
Maybe we'll have to
Most definitely,
get the boys back together. I was talking to Josh last night or the other night. He was telling me, he was like, "Hey man, we should get everybody planned to go to a game or maybe homecoming or something like that."
dude. I'm down to go to homecoming for sure, man. I haven't been back to Commerce really since I left. I think the only time I really went out was when I was still attending class. But to be honest with you, I think I more so just went out there because Ashley was out there. I
oh,
mean, I
well,
went
we
to
could
class
go
still, but
as long as nobody dies from this corona. As long as everybody's still alive from corona. Virus, we
yeah,
could go
it's a big if, man. It's
well, we could go play golf in the morning and then freaking go to a homecoming or go to a tailgate and watch a game after,
dude. I'd be down to do that. That'd be fun, man. We definitely got to get everybody back. I think quite a few people went to homecoming last year, but
Yeah, this
I
is
just
2020. We got to come out of this corona strong. So,
yeah.
speaking of coming out of the coronavirus strong, have you seen all the talk about the NBA? Well, sports in general, talking about possibly going back to where they were going to play without fans, or do you think that they're going to even continue on with the season at all, or do you think they're going to cancel the season?
Dude, I hope that they don't cancel the season. Like that first and foremost, I hope they don't do that because that's gonna suck. They already canceled March Madness. Like, there's no going back on March Madness. Like, they've already canceled it. Like, it's done. So like, I
Yeah,
feel like with these other professional sports, dude, I hope they don't cancel it. I hope they like. Obviously, I don't think they're gonna be able to like complete the season like to where like if I don't remember how many games were left, but say there's 25 games left. I don't think they're going to be able to go and play all 25 games because you still got to have your off season period and
I think
summer
it's
league and all that good
I
stuff.
think it's less
But
than that, man. Like if they just played a tournament, like instead of
yeah,
doing a summer league and they played like the
hmm
summer league was the league, and they just
dude,
finished out the season that way, I think that you could make everybody happy. And I think that if you're still scared about the spread of the virus or whatever, if it's still going on, which I think by then it should be good to go. I think I think you could do it without fans and broadcast it.
hmm
But I think you're going to have a fan populace that's going to be so itching to go to these games. They're going to sell out in like 10 minutes. They're going to cost a ton of money, and people are going to sell those tickets on StubHub, and they're going to make a freaking killing. And I think that they know that. You know what I mean? Like people are going to be
Yeah.
itching to get back into sports and concerts, and they're
That's
just
going to be the part that sucks is the ticket prices when it goes back. When it goes back, I probably will not be. To be honest with you, I don't give a damn if they do fans or no fans because I probably won't be able to afford to go anyways. I have to watch it on TV. Either way,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
I kind of like. I kind of like the idea of no fans, just for like a week, just because I want to hear like only if you can hear what the players are saying. Like if they're sitting there talking shit to each other, I want to be able to hear that.
yeah,
Like I think
yeah,
that
yeah.
would be cool.
Well, you could just mic
Um,
the dudes up.
Yeah. If you didn't, well, like if there's no fans there, you don't really have to mic them up. I feel like the normal sound would probably pick it up for the most part.
Yeah,
But like if you can't hear them and it's just like squeaking shoes on like like if it's just squeaking shoes like for however long an NBA game is, I don't know if I'd like that too much.
well,
Hockey,
you've
same
seen,
thing. I feel like hockey would kind of. I think hockey would be cool to hear like what all they're saying, like all the little chirping and stuff. Like right, like when they scrum at the goal there, and they're all
yeah,
pushing and shoving. I'd like
yeah.
to hear what they actually have to say. Some of it you may not understand though, because all those fuckers from Eastern Europe.
There's a freaking train going through right now as I'm talking.
Yeah,
Can you hear
yeah.
it?
Faintly, but
These assholes. So
donate
my
to the podcast so that way we can get a studio.
legit, man. Like, uh, yeah, man. I think I don't know. So there. I've already seen this happen. Like I was watching a long time ago. It was on YouTube. I think they have it on like NBA Classics. It's the Dream Team. They square off against each other, and it's Jordan versus Magic Johnson, and they go toe to toe, and there's no fans, and it's just intense, and just there's
Yeah.
like it's almost like I don't know, man. It's almost like watching them in their natural. They don't have to show off for the crowd. They just go at it and they play basketball. And Magic Johnson said in that game, he was like, "That was the day I passed off the crown to MJ and was like, it's yours now." I was like, "What a cool freaking moment!" I don't know if that would happen in the NBA now, but I think it would be pretty cool just to see if their competitiveness would be higher or it would be lower, or would they be goofing off more, or would they be more intense. It's just like the crowd adds that element that you can't simulate. You know what I mean? Like you just cannot simulate that. So I don't
I
know.
think they'll be still intense. I think they're still going to be real competitive because like let's think about it,
They want to
man.
win.
They all want to, yeah, they all want to win. There's a little bit of pride at stake too, but just think about it this way: when we went back in college days and we'd go up to the rec, those games didn't mean anything. But how serious were some of the dudes up there taking that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like you had people like damn near getting into fights sometimes
All the
because they were
time.
taking it so serious. So you have to think about it. These guys they're in the NBA for a reason. They're super competitive and they've got that drive. So I feel like regardless, they're going to be playing hard. Um, Maybe the fans won't be there to kind of egg them on if like something does kind of crazy start popping off. Now
Yeah.
with the tournament format though, like if they did come back for the tournament format, I was seeing some things on there about like hosting it at like a neutral location. One to kind of
Yeah.
make sure like stuff doesn't spread, like if this hasn't died down. Because like Mark Cuban's talking about how he's hoping that they can be like playing games again by mid-May. I think that's a little aggressive, but I mean it'd be nice. I hope so. But
So
I,
from
I
the
was
last
I
time
was
we
reading.
talked,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, I was saying I was reading and they were trying to figure they were talking about possibly doing like maybe go to like out in the Midwest where like the cases aren't as high right now, maybe going on like a campus there and using their gym, no fans. And then I also saw something else where they go to like an island in the Bahamas and like do it at some hotel there in like a ballroom and fit it out basically for broadcast and have all the teams stay in that hotel and do like a month-long tournament. I think that'd be pretty cool too because they'd all be in the same place like in the hotel and everything like that, like kind of like on a resort or something like that, and they can't leave type deal. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
What were you saying though?
it's interesting. I think as we progress with this whole thing, there's gonna be more light shed on what's going on. But I think that at some point this is going to be realized as not as severe as we originally thought. Um,
Hmm.
I think like countries, I think countries like Italy are going to be really obviously they were like they had an issue or whatever, but I think that we're going to realize that it's not as bad as it was, and I think that we can kind of continue on life um,
Yeah.
like normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see both sides of the argument here because, like, for instance, like they were talking about with Italy, there were, obviously there's a pretty high death rate, partly due to the fact that they didn't get it under control, and therefore they had to start making that decision on who gets the life saving treatment and who doesn't. But another thing too, like this, from what it seems, this is very hard on like the old people, and Italy, like they have it, like they have a very large like elderly like population from what I was hearing as well. Um, so therefore, that could be maybe a contributing factor, but also too. I was watching another podcast and they were talking about how Italians live together.
Hmm.
Like multiple generations will live in the same household. So you'll have like grandmas, moms, and children. Well, then if the children are like 20 years old still, and they're going out and about with their friends, they come back home, they give it to their, 80-year-old grandma, and then she obviously can't handle it like the 20-year-old does. So
Yeah.
therefore, that's what that could be part of it as well. But then like on the other side of things, like also here too, like my mom, she works in an emergency room. So like obviously she can't give me a whole lot of details on everything just because she can't
Like
really,
HIPAA.
um, yeah, she can't disclose, like she can't be like, oh yeah, this patient this patient that. She can't tell me all that, but she'll like just hit me up and be like, hey, yo, like make sure you're like stocked up because like it's about to get progressively worse over the next time, over the next period of time. So like I see both sides of it. I see like that it may not be as serious as we think, but then it also gets nerve wracking, like because like I said, like with my mom working in it and then her telling me it, then like Ashley, obviously she works for a doctor's office, so therefore like the wife comes home tells me kind of, again, without really disclosing too much because you can't really tell me too much, but it is a little bit nerve wracking. But then you also see those places like New York and Seattle right now, where those are like kind of the two big like epicenters for it right now. That's where they're going off like crazy. And then I feel like Dallas, which scary enough, is like kind of right behind them. I mean, there's obviously not as many cases in Dallas as New York or Seattle, but I feel like it's spiking there, and it's just going to keep going
New Orleans,
exponentially.
man. Have you seen New Orleans?
Yeah, I heard
Like
that one's not too good either.
it's like they say it's dang near worse than all of them, mainly because of the Mardi Gras crowd. It pretty much caused the whole thing. Like
Oh shit!
um,
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
so
They still
so
had
for
Mardi
me,
Gras.
yeah, well, part of it. So like they canceled the rest of it and they cleared out Bourbon Street, but like you know how Mardi Gras is like a 6 month long
Yeah,
thing, like you know what I mean? Like
true.
they celebrate Mardi Gras forever, so it's like they
Yeah,
said there was like a
it's also hard to
million
police
people.
everybody. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So man, the way I look at it is this affects sports. At some point that we have to return to normal. Like China has returned to
correct.
normal, right? Like they're not fully, but they're slowly returning to
They're
normal.
working on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
China
working
has
on getting the CBA back right now. They haven't, from what I was seeing, they haven't started playing yet. But like players are re-entering the country right now.
yeah, so
Like trying to get, and what they're doing with the players as they come back in is they bring the players back in, they quarantine them for 14 days, make sure they don't have it, and then they make sure that they're fully fit to
so
begin,
so
training
what
again.
we so I can tell you a game changer for this whole thing is
And
is
the
this
Utah Jazz is already healthy.
yeah, they're good.
They're
Like
saying,
they were barely even
and
sick,
they were
but
the
like
first. They were the first ones.
yep.
They had
Yep,
two guys go down with it.
they're good to go. Like 2 weeks ago, our podcast, we talked about Rudy Gobert and touching mics and stuff.
Hmm.
But like, if you think about it, there's this company. I think I can't remember what they're called. Like, shit, I don't know. It starts with Abbott. They're called Abbott Technologies or something like that. They created this lab, this little mini lab. It looks like a test kit. Like it's literally like the size of like a lunchbox, like a small lunchbox. Basically it tests the molecular level of whatever's going on with the virus. You test it and it gives you a result for positive in 5 minutes. So they're producing but it's a throwaway test kit. So you get the test kit, boom, 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 and you throw it away, right? So
It's just gonna
FDA
be
is
all
a
unofficial.
well, yeah, well the FDA is like pushing this through really fast, but apparently it works. Like, and then 15 to 20 minutes, I think is what it said for a negative. So what I think that does is that shows the widespread of it. It shows like the people that can't get tests like can get these. You know what I mean? So it's like they don't have to wait 6 days, or if you know like they feel like they're sick and but they don't know what it is, and then they kind of live their normal life, and then 5 days later they get a test back and it says they have had it, but they've done all these things up to that point where they've interacted with all these different people. Now you can get it in 5 minutes. You know you have it. You know you isolate yourself just like you have the flu, and then you can kind of start taking care of yourself, like drinking water and doing all those types of things to make yourself better, or go to the hospital and you already know, hey, I have this virus. Put me in like a ICU or like a separate unit or whatever. But
Mm.
I really think, man, I think that at some point, I'm kind of believing this whole uh, herd immunity. I think at some point people are going to stop getting infected because they already have the immunity to it, or it's just not affecting anybody anymore. And then once we come out with that cure or a vaccine, I think life's going to be a lot better. And if we have to play sports without fans for a while, cool. I mean that's all right. I watch most of the sports on TV anyways. But I don't know, man. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, not a doctor, neither of us are, but like, I mean, I think a vaccine's probably a good ways out, so that's probably not in the cards. But they, like you said, I think we had talked about it the other day about like they were testing like potential medicines like with malaria that could possibly
Yeah.
um, help with it. Maybe so.
Hi. Let me say
Yeah,
hydroxychloroquine, I think is how you say it.
yeah.
And then
Yeah, you got to be careful
Z-Pack.
with that. I saw us. Yeah, you got to be careful with that. I saw something that apparently some lady was mad because Trump was dropping chemical names, I guess,
Yeah.
from the drug that they were testing it on
Yeah.
with somebody, and somebody mixed it up with another drug and they took it and they
Yeah,
died.
they took
It
chlorinic
was
phosphate, which
yeah,
you
yeah.
which you
They took
use for
they
fishbowl cleaner.
yes, dumbasses.
I wouldn't
uh,
do that. Like, come on,
yeah,
man.
yeah. Like I don't know, man. People are so fucking stupid sometimes, but yeah, I'm I'm gonna go conspiracy theory on you, man. I think it's in here. I
Yeah,
think we're not gonna
absolutely.
see. So I think the reason why we're seeing what we see as a quick spread right now is because people are finally starting to test for it. I think there's a lot of people right now walking around with it that don't realize they have it. To be honest with you, because the testing's so limited that they can't they can't test everybody, right?
Right.
So I think that it's been here for a minute. I'm gonna go even more conspiracy theory on you. I'd sent you the link, and I kind of went down that anonymous wormhole on
Yeah.
YouTube. And dude, what they were so they had put these charts up on their video, and I was looking at it, and I was like, man, what they're saying kind of makes sense. So like basically, they're saying in the incubation period that it took, which is 14 days, and then the time that it took China to finally lock down Wuhan, like that virus could have spread to every single corner of the world by that point. And then it's just infecting people for 2 days before they even realize it. And all that's happening by the time they even put that place on lockdown. But
This is an
then,
alert from Anonymous. You
yeah,
are all infected.
yeah. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. But everybody run and hide, get in your
Yeah,
shelters, buy
yeah.
your toilet paper right now.
So
But
man,
no,
so I I was
but
gonna
hold
say,
on, here
man,
we are, here we are. But
yeah, I gotcha.
but they were putting this. I kind of got off on the point there, but they had put these charts up where they were talking about how it's been an abnormally high flu season. But in
Yeah,
contrast with that, there's also a lot of people that were going to the doctor during that flu season that were coming in with flu-like symptoms, and they were getting tested for the flu, and there were a lot of them coming back negative. They didn't have the flu, but they had flu-like symptoms, and the doctors were all thinking for sure these people had the flu, right? I mean, that's
yep.
why they're probably testing them. They don't just test
Some
people
new
for the
strain
hell
of
of it,
the
I'm
flu
sure.
or something.
Correct. Yeah, but even if it's a new strain, you would think it would still pop up. Again, I'm not a doctor, I don't know. But then the second thing that gets me Like I think, like I swear to God, I had this shit whenever I came back from my wedding, and I was sick. I was out of commission, couldn't even leave my bed for like 5 days, and then was sick for maybe a little over a week. Like,
Mhm.
and we thought it was the flu. I mean, I didn't go get tested. I just stayed in bed, drank a lot of Tylenol PM, and just stayed snoozing. But I felt so bad that I went and picked because my parents got back from the wedding trip after I did, and so I went and picked them up from the airport. From the time I took them from the airport back home, I was exhausted, dude. It just completely just drained me just
I
doing that.
remember
And the
you talking to
airport's
me, being like, "Bro,
30
I'm
30
dying."
minutes away. Yeah, it was like 30 minutes away. But then before the wedding, that Friday night, my dad was sick, like terrible sick. Like that was the night of the bachelor party. So therefore, like he was gonna come out to that, but he passed out by like 8 o'clock because he was so sick. And like I know he wouldn't have missed that for anything. He had to have been feeling like absolute terrible to miss that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And be that sick. And then the next day, my brother starts getting sick. Then the next day, my mom is sick on the actual wedding day itself,
Mhm.
and then um, then I get sick right after that when we get back, and so I just find it really strange that four of us who all get flu shots all
Mhm.
get the flu. That just seems a little odd to me. That was just my rant on that,
Are
but
you
I
trying
think
to
it's been
segue
here.
me to an anti-vaxxer wormhole? No, I'm just kidding.
No, no, vaccinate your children, people.
No,
Jesus
so
Christ! If you take anything away from this show, vaccinate your kids.
so for me the whole thing is um like sports are a part of my everyday life, your everyday life, like the
Hundred
normalcy of
percent.
life. I think with all the fear mongering that goes on in the world, best case scenarios, worst case scenarios, none of us are like, prophets or anything like that. Unless you're out there listening, you're a prophet, like good luck, or a psychic or whatever. But, the whole thing is why not return back to life? If it's not a big deal, you get sick, and definitely for people that their immune systems don't react properly. The reason I say they don't react properly is like they're old, they have pre-existing conditions, or whatever happens, right? They
Mm-hmm.
just don't react like they're supposed to. It's such a low percentage of people that it's like similar to the flu, not in the sickness, but in the amount of people statistic wise that get sick. Why not return us somewhat back to normal, bring our economy somewhat back to normal to where people have jobs again and people are surviving and thriving again, and like we don't have to be in giant crowds right away. That can take some time, and maybe down the road when we get a vaccine and stuff, but at least give us some semblance of what it was like before all this stuff hit. And like
Mm-hmm.
the like the country artists, they've already done it. They've done this live, and they've shown us, hey, this is we want to keep the conversation going. We want you to listen to us and do all these things. And I just think that when we come out of this on the the other end, it's going to be the world's going to be a little different than what we remember before. Whereas like people are gonna, I think they're going to take their health a little bit more seriously. I think people are going to take, washing their hands more seriously. Hygiene in general, I think, is going to be more serious. I think people are going to be outside all the time, whenever they can, just because they've been inside for so long or whatever. But sports are the one thing that I want back. I want them back. Like we can't even have normal conversations about sports because there are none. You know what I mean? Like if you look at ESPN, they're literally talking about the top 10 video game athletes ever. Right? Like
Yeah.
I like that
Hey,
topic,
that
but
that hey, I do too. You saw that I hit you up on earlier, that LeBron 2K14 on
yeah,
NBA
yeah,
2K.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yes.
used to whoop your ass when we do playoff teams. Remember that?
Yeah, except whenever I play with Seattle, that Seattle 90s team.
Yeah, yeah. I couldn't. Yeah, that was all. That was the Achilles heel. But like that team with LeBron was OP. If you started on the 3 point line, one
Yeah.
step, sprint, hold, dunk, and LeBron's dunking on everybody.
So simple.
but Yeah, but no, dude, I definitely agree, man. I think we need sports back soon, hopefully sooner than anything. I saw you had shared earlier the Mark Cuban quote, which, dude, I like Mark Cuban a lot, man. I don't always agree with him politically, but I do like his
I'm
his
gonna tell you
thoughts
this,
on it.
Dylan.
Basically saying that we need something to
I don't
cheer
even think
for.
Mark Cuban agrees with himself politically.
Yeah, true. True. I think he's so all over the place. I can't tell. Like sometimes like he does some good deeds or he does a lot of good deeds and then but then yeah, I don't show's not about politics. We'll stay out of it. But well,
I'm just
sometimes
making
we'll
a
talk
point.
politics. We'll see. Yeah. I think he's undecided. I think he's whatever just makes sense, which is cool with me, I guess. But no, he said, we need something to cheer for. We need something to get excited about and connect with each other. And dude, that's what sports provide. It's provided that ever since really like, you know, the, ancient times of Greece, whenever they had like the Olympics and everything like that, their version of the Olympics. And then you had like
Gladiators
the
in Rome,
Colosseum. Yeah, yeah, I was about to say you had the Colosseum in Rome.
chariot
And then it's just been
races.
and yeah, then you had like the knights that would like joust with each other, like during medieval times. Like, I mean, there's always been some type of sport that gets everybody connected. Not everybody likes sports, but the majority of the population enjoy sports, at least just to watch it. They may not be as in depth about it as we are, like where we sit here and talk on a show for however long about it, but people at least tune into the actual game itself and watch it. I mean, it doesn't matter what sport it is, people will watch. But
All
yeah,
right, I got a question for you. All
sure.
right. All right, say this whole thing is a hoax. Tomorrow you find out that everybody is actually they're good. It's like a witch the Salem witch trials. Nobody's actually sick. And they start up sports tomorrow. What is one team or one game and one sport you would watch right now that you want to watch? Give me the two teams and the game that you're going to be watching.
Okay.
If you could any sport, any team in history, if you could watch two teams play each other,
Oh, we're gonna go history on this
any
one.
it can be right now, it could be history.
Okay. Okay. Hmm. Let's see. I'm gonna stick with right now just because I want to do the. I want to. I want the sports of right now to come back. But if
Mm-hmm.
there's any game that I could watch right now,
Mm-hmm.
well, it is a little bit history because the game's already happened. They actually, I'm kind of mad because they actually, when we did our last episode, which I'm glad we did the last episode by all means, but they were playing it on Fox Sports. They were doing a replay of the NHL Winter Classic from this year when the
Oh yeah, I saw
Stars
that.
whooped that ass. And not only did we whoop that ass, they were down 2 goals, came back and won. I mean, it was just a cool game to watch. Cool to see it like outside, like in Texas for that matter. It was an outdoor hockey game and it was 65 degrees outside. It was super weird to see. And it was in the Cotton Bowl, which is, notorious for all the famous football games that have been played there. So I think I'd want to watch that game just because I'm a huge hockey fan. If not hockey, though, I think the game that I'd really, really want to watch right now, if not hockey, hmm, I think honestly, opening day is coming. If sports were to start tomorrow, I would ask to be given one more day so that way I can watch the Rangers opening day because tomorrow would not be Rangers opening day, or it'd be 2 more days. Sorry, it's Tuesday that it would be on the 31st. I would ask for just a couple more days of no sports just so I can watch the opening day for the Rangers as the very first game.
Their new stadium, their new unis, Joey Gallo hitting a home run / grand slam.
Yes,
Mike Miner with the shutout, nine
when they
inning complete game.
when the
four
team runs
zero.
out onto yeah, yes, when the team runs out onto the field, I think that they should have Rugi bring one of his horses that he got in his contract. He should be able to gallop out onto the field with that for the national anthem, and then he can go tie it up to the
He's only
dugout
allowed to
and go.
do that if he doesn't strike out in that game. So he's not allowed to do it on opening day because he's a strikeout
That's rough,
machine,
man.
and just because like it's not allowed yet. But if he doesn't
Yeah.
strike out the first
If we ask
game,
him not to strike out, then he'll never get to do that ever.
yeah, like
But
you got to do better than a 200 average, man. Like he's got the Ian
he looked good
Kinsler.
in spring training though.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, like
But he's also hitting off of some scrubs that are
yeah,
going to
yeah,
probably be playing
you're
double
going
A
up
ball.
against you're going up against like you may face the first batter, the first pitcher may be their starter, but he's only going to pitch like 25 balls or 50 balls, and then he's going to the dugout. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. When
you're
you hit
not
a
getting a
grand
full.
slam off the 19-year-old fresh out of high school, it doesn't count, bro.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like this dude just got his first car from his parents, and it's actually his mom's car. Like, chill out, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
The leather
Unless he's
seats are
Bryce
ripping.
Harper, then like Bryce Harper can do anything at 18, like whatever, dude. He was.
Yeah,
Did
he
you,
was a
did you ever see that
phenom.
video of him hitting that home run derby? He was hitting like 600-foot
Yeah,
balls
when he
in
hit the
Vegas.
back of the Twins dome.
Oh yeah. Was it Twins?
Yeah, so it was before the Twins had their new field.
Oh yeah.
This I think we were still in high school. Yeah. We were like seniors in high school because I
He's like the
remember
same age
he
as
was
we
like,
are.
yeah. So I remember watching this because this was like the high school like All Americans that were playing, and um, one of my buddies on the team that I played for with the high school that I played for, I felt like he like worshipped him. We'd be out on the field, and he was all. You remember Bryce Harper would always do like those bat flips and swing
Yep.
and hit. Like he
Yep.
had a bunch of like YouTube videos of that. So like he'd be trying to copy him doing that, and like I tried it too, but I couldn't get it down. But my buddy, he was able to do it pretty well. But I remember when we watched the video though of him at that like All American like home run derby, and he was smashing the ball. Like the ball would have went further had it not been a dome. He hit the back of the damn dome. So dude, unreal. What's the
I'm
game you
going
would
on.
watch?
What game would I watch? So
Yeah.
I'll go present. Right now, I would love to see a. Um, I would love to see a Mavericks Lakers game. Just want to see Luca ball up, shoot some threes, get in people's faces. I also like to see a Cowboys Eagles game just because that always gets dicey. But the one game I would want to watch right now, just because I miss sports so much, I miss football so much, is the 2006, I think, college national championship. Vince Young, mano a mano against Matt Leinart and USC Reggie Bush. That game, if that could happen live again, like in some weird fashion, whatever, I would totally watch that game. That's the greatest college football game I've ever watched. And I'm not a big UT guy at all. Like, go Ags, right? But man, that game was just so amazing. Like, just watching the pure will that Vince Young had, just driving down the field at the end of the game and scoring, and he did it. He put the team on his back. It was like the Rebel Alliance versus the Evil Empire coming back and destroying USC, and then several years later they come out with all that BS. Like,
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey's on there talking about Texas, and all the goofball Hollywood people are talking about USC. We're just like, man, what an amazing game! What an amazing sporting event! I don't think that there's really a game that I've seen since that tops that game, like in football. Like I just have not seen it. Man, like
I
really
remember
don't.
that game because I talked so much shit to all the UT fans. And then
Yeah.
'cause being an Aggie fan, obviously I was loving the first half of that game.
Well, even as an Aggie fan, like I think that it was beyond like Aggie Longhorn rivalry. I think it was rooting for Texas. You know what I mean? Because it was like that Texas versus California, like it's us versus the world type thing. And I totally went behind Texas on that one. I was like, let's go. Like,
Yeah,
and Vince Young,
that's true.
Vince Young's awesome regardless. But I
I
felt,
think I'm
man,
always gonna. At
go
that
ahead.
time, I wouldn't have always rooted for the Texas team, but I think now I'm always going to root for the Texas team,
Right.
except for when it's the Astros. Fuck them.
Oh yeah, the
But
Astros. We never got to really talk about the Astros and that whole situation. Do you think that here's a conspiracy for you? I just thought of this.
sure.
What if what's their GM's name? AJ Hinch, right?
Let's fact check that for you.
Yeah, I think his name is
I
AJ
don't. I don't.
Hinch.
I don't name him. I don't know his name off the top of my
Well,
head. So.
regardless, Astros GM, they get in trouble for all. Well, they are the least liked people in baseball right now. What if they got a hold of this biological weapon from China and planted it across the world just so people would forget about their cheating scandal? Think that's
Oh
plausible?
yeah, dude.
Like, I mean, I
I don't
think
think
about
it's
it.
possible, man, but it sounds like a great movie.
I
I
don't
mean,
think it's worth
but
it.
I mean, I don't think they would just because at the end of the day, if you really think about it, they got it off so light. What do
Oh
they
no,
care if people
it's
don't
just a
forget
piece of
about it?
metal,
They
right?
don't, yeah, yeah,
The trophy is just a piece of metal. What a
yeah,
imbecile that guy Manfred.
yeah,
What an
yeah.
imbecile! Like,
I love the owner of the Astros, and it's funny because Carlos Correa at spring training tried to defend him because he was like, so basically the owner said, yeah, they may have known what pitch was coming, but at the end of the day, it takes a lot of skill to still hit the baseball. So first of
boy,
all, yes, he's right. It takes a lot of skill to hit a baseball. It's one of the toughest things in sports to do. However, these guys are getting paid millions and millions and millions of
million,
dollars and millions of dollars
yeah.
to hit a baseball. They have perfected how to hit a baseball. If they know what pitch is coming, they're going to kill it. Like they know what they're doing. But so like Carlos Correa tried to defend him like in his spring training interview that he did where he's like, "Oh, he's just an owner. He doesn't know baseball like that. Like he thinks it's, real time." He's like, "Of course we got an advantage, but like Carlos Correa, like I think he's the one that pissed me off the most about this whole thing is because like he did this interview at spring training where he's basically justifying that,
Cheating.
basically saying that they didn't cheat in the World Series, they just cheated to get there basically, and that so therefore it shouldn't take away their World Series. It's like first of all, like if you cheated the whole season, I'm pretty sure you cheated in the World Series too. Why would you get all the way to the championship series and say, all right, I'm done cheating. I'm gonna throw my hands up.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
done.
yeah.
No more. No more. He tried to say like, oh, they're always changing their signs, yada yada yada, all this other crap. I'm like, no, doesn't sound right. Doesn't sound right. Um, but no, don't get me wrong. I'm not against sign stealing in a legal way if you don't bring foreign objects such as a camera to steal
Right.
the other
Using
team's
Apple
signs.
Watches,
Uh,
stuff like that.
yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, it's always been a tradition of baseball where the other team always tries to pick up on the signs that you're giving. I mean, I remember it was something. I mean, it's something that you do at the high school level. We did it when I was in high school. If you were a base runner and you got on second base and you could see the catcher's hands, you would try and tip the batter off as to what was coming. But you weren't doing anything illegal because you weren't bringing in anything outside of the game. And I feel like that's like a common misconception. Around a lot of people, they think that you can't steal signs in baseball. You can, you just can't do it with foreign objects. You got to do it strictly from the players. You just got to
Well,
pick up
and
on them.
and like the same thing goes for football. Like when you're calling a play and you're making an audible, you throw a lot of fluff out there, and it's
Correct.
just so that doesn't happen. But like you
Just throw them
said,
up.
if you're the Patriots and you're sideline, if you're video camera in certain areas that aren't supposed to be video camera, and then you're the Astros and you're using, like you said exactly, the outside influence, the outside resource that's not within the game. Like if I'm a linebacker and I catch up on Peyton Manning's Omaha and I know exactly what he's going to do, like good for me because he's bullshitting most of the time anyways. But if I pick up on it, I can tell my defense to readjust. But if I'm like, if I'm going into his meetings and have a camera secretly in his meeting and he's like telling people what he's saying, what it means, and then I go in there and I adjust every time he talks, that's illegal as shit, right? And it's kind of the same
Mm,
thing where it's like I'm zooming into the camera or into the catcher's hand, and then I'm banging so many times on a drum on a garbage can or whatever. dude, that's super bad. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
like
I
cool.
still think that once this suspension is over, every team in the league, when they play the Astros, needs to do one of two things: either have bring your own trash can night, or
Yeah.
two, give them away to like the first like 20,000 fans. You know, I'm sure you can get a bulk order discount on them and it won't cost you too much, and just have all the fans just banging on trash cans the entire time that they are
Yeah.
batting or whatever the case may be. I think that would be great. I think it would also be like a giant middle finger to them, you know,
Yeah.
F
Yeah.
you to the Astros. Dude, it sucks, man, because I'm going to be honest. I used to be somewhat a fan of the Astros. Like, obviously, the Rangers are my favorite team,
Gross.
but yeah, I know. I feel dirty saying it, but like if you think about it though, for the longest time, the Astros were in the National League, the Rangers were in the American League. They're both Texas teams. I like both of them. Hell, me and my dad liked them at one point. That my very first baseball team I ever played on when I was a T-baller, we were the Astros. So I mean, we liked the Rangers, but we just liked the Astros uniforms and stuff like that. But now I'm just like, man, after this, nah, I can't rock with them anymore, man. It's
Well,
it was already tough enough whenever they put them in the same division for the Rangers. Like at that point, it's like,
yeah. Yeah. Like, so
but
every year they played them, when they're in the NL, they play for the silver
mm,
boot or whatever. Um,
yeah,
like we would always go like, my family or whatever, we go watch a game or whatever. It was always against the Astros, and my least favorite fans on the planet. Absolutely horrible. Like, we were playing a game. It was back in the day when we had like Hank Blaylock and those dudes and Gary Matthews Jr. and all those guys. And we were losing like, it was like 9-0 or something like that,
Ian
or 10.
Kinsler, Michael Young, all
Yeah,
them.
I don't know if Ian Kinsler was on the team yet. If he
Not
was, he
yet.
was really young. Um,
Maybe Alfonso Soriano at the time.
yeah, I think
I
it might
remember
have
when he
been.
played. Dude, I was pumped when he came to Texas
Yeah,
for this
terrible.
brief time.
I
I
think
know,
I think
but
Mark
as a little
Teixeira.
kid, I liked him.
I think Mark Teixeira might have still been there. I don't know. Anyways, Gary Matthews Jr. was a center fielder. We're losing 9-0, and these Astros fans, like, they just were like, I was probably 10, and there was like, there was like probably 30 of them in our section. We sat in this section where like it's on the first deck, and the overhang goes over it, so it's shaded in by the dugout. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So like
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
go
I
in
know
there,
where
it's shaded because it's like 1,000,000 degrees in Texas when you go watch a game. And
Yes. Thank God for the dome.
yeah, and hallelujah. And so Mike Lamb had already hit a home run earlier that game, and I mean he destroyed it. And he gets up, and all these Astro fans are just, they're going crazy. They're talking crap to us. I'm a 10-year-old kid, and you're talking crap to me. Like, come on, man. Like, I got a Michael Young T-shirt jersey. Like, what am I gonna do? I'm like 50 pounds soaking wet, and Mike Lamb goes up and he just strokes it. I think it was Kenny Rogers, might have been the pitcher. I can't remember though. Um, he strokes it, and it's like legit home run. You're like, oh, just like, this is horrible. And all of a sudden you see out of nowhere Gary Matthews Jr. just full on sprint, and he leaps. I mean, you can look at it, man. Like, it's one of the best all time catch it, like home run robs ever. He goes up, and his between his knee and his hip, like right in his thigh area, is above the wall. Like, that's how high he got, and he reached right up, like almost like they call it a snow cone catch, and
Mm.
snags that ball out of the air, and every single one of us just erupt in just like pure, just ecstasy. We were so fired up, like it was the best feeling ever, man. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I hate Astro
No, you
fans,
explained
and
it
that's my
well.
experience.
Erupted in pure ecstasy. You
Yeah,
explained
yeah,
it perfect.
yeah. Oh man, we were just fired up, and we were losing like 10-1 or 9-2 or something like that, but it didn't matter. Like,
Mhm.
all everybody talked about was that play.
Now, who do you think's worse, Astros fans or Philly fans?
Well, just based off my experience with the one or two Philly fans, that's a tough one. The Astro fans didn't have anything to cheer about until recently, so they haven't been that bad. They just would talk shit. Um, the Philly fans are horrible, like in all sports. like not just the Eagles, and that's the only Philly that
Yeah.
the Cowboys are not like fans of. They're rivals, but all the other sports, all you hear about is Philly fans being terrible, talking crap,
Yeah.
just being
It's
nasty,
something in the water there, man. I don't know what it is.
the lack thereof, water, whatever, like
Yeah.
the
It's
arsenic.
because it's cold as shit there, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how cold it gets, but I'm assuming it gets pretty cold.
The only time
But
I've ever
maybe.
been a Philly fan is Vince Papali and Mark Wahlberg in Invincible. Like it's the only time.
And that was pushing it.
That's a good movie, by the
Uh,
way. Shout out to Disney for that one, man.
yeah, very good. I like that one. He's wasn't he was working in a bar before he went and tried out with him, right?
Yeah, yeah. He was working in a bar, just
Okay.
balling up on people, juking people out. They're playing football at night in between a bunch of cars with their headlights and stuff like that.
That's right. That's right. It's been a minute since I've seen it, but it sounds like the movie Goon stole the plot from him then, because that fool was a bouncer in the bar and then
Yeah, oh yeah.
was just whooping ass.
And Invincible's a real story. So Vince
Yeah. Oh,
Papale was
100%.
he was a real
100%.
dude.
You mean to tell me Goon's not a real story? Come on, man.
I wish
Get
it
out of here.
was.
Yeah. 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 But man, speaking of earlier, you had mentioned Peyton Manning. It just reminded me. I just want to go back to it. You think that Tom Brady is going to do what Peyton Manning almost did, which is, or I'm not, it's not almost did. He did do it. I'm sorry. Change teams, go down and win a Super Bowl. You think he's going to win a Super Bowl in Tampa?
No.
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 He's got a great receiving core. I
Cool.
think. I think it's all hype. I think it's all hype too.
I'll tell you. You want to know why
I think they're going to
Peyton?
be good. I don't think they're going to be that good.
You want to know why Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl? I'll tell you exactly why. That defense, dude.
Defense, Von
It
Miller,
wasn't because of his broke
big
ass arm.
Yeah,
Like,
I still will never forget whenever they won that Super Bowl though, and Peyton Manning said, "I'm gonna drink a lot of Budweiser,"
yeah,
and
yeah,
Von Miller's buying.
yeah. Well, great because he knew like
Best post
Von.
game interview.
Like you had the last bit of excellence that DeMarcus Ware had. You had Von Miller. You had the what was their corner? I can't even think of that team, man. Hold on, give me a second. That was Denver. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you. But like, I mean, you think about it. That was what 52-10. That was the score. You had Cam Newton on the other side, who was he was good, but so at some point was that game rigged? Like,
It looked like it. Like what? That was the same game when Cam Newton fumbled it and just looked at it, right? Am
yeah,
I confusing that with
yeah,
another game,
like
right?
well, you know how
Okay.
like that year he was dabbing on people and doing all these
Yeah,
things, right?
hitting the Superman and all
Yeah,
that, and then he
yeah,
sucked
and
in
in
that
that
game.
game he didn't do a dang thing. It just was strange. Like the whole
I don't think
game.
he ain't never been the same since either, man.
Yeah, well, he
You
won
know,
the he won the
he just he.
he won the
What's up?
MVP that year, right? Yeah, he was the MVP.
Yeah, yeah, MVP,
So
and
so
then
here was
went to the
their
Super Bowl,
offense.
choked there.
Here was their offense. The Denver Broncos. They had Peyton, obviously, C.J. Anderson, average at best. Emmanuel Sanders, he's good. Um, Owen
C.J.
Daniels,
Anderson gave it to the Cowboys not too long ago.
yeah, he's like a bowling
Got up
ball.
off his couch.
That was like 2 years ago, man. They had
People don't
Owen
forget.
Owen Daniels, Demarius Thomas. Demarius Thomas had one catch. So that, but like, I mean, okay, here you go. Here's the stats.
Not they didn't have a 52-point Super Bowl offense.
Oh,
Like
I know, but listen to these
that's
stats.
insane.
Peyton Manning didn't even throw a Super Bowl, or he didn't even throw a touchdown in that game.
Von Miller got MVP, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so. So look at this. Holy cow, this is crazy. So Cam was 18 for 41. First of all, why is Cam throwing that much? You've got Jonathan Stewart at running back. He can do just fine. He ran it 6 times for 45 yards. He had 265 yards passing and an interception. His rating was 55.4. Contrary to Peyton Manning, who was 13 for 23, 141 yards, an interception, and a rating of 56.6. What a trash game for quarterbacks. but
Yeah.
the score doesn't even make
I love
sense.
I love the fact I'm looking at the box score right now. I love the fact that Carolina kicked a field goal in the fourth quarter, like just to
Yeah.
throw 3 points on the board. It's like, all right, it's the Super Bowl. You're down by at that point they would have been down by let's see.
Well, what was the final score of that game? I think I was off.
You were off. It was
It was
24-10,
24
not
to 10. It
52.
felt like
It was
52
super
10.
yeah, it was Super Bowl 50. Maybe that's where you're getting the 50 from. But either way though, they kick a field goal and they're down by at least 16 at that point, maybe the 24 at that point, and they kick a field goal. I don't think so.
Math is hard.
Mm-mm. Yeah, yeah. Uh,
But it just was off. That whole game, that whole team was just off.
yeah.
But this defense, like I don't know why they're not showing me the defense. So defense, you had like Danny Trevathan. He was uh, he was linebacker, I think, and then you had trying to see Darian Stewart at safety and um, Demarcus Ware on the line, and all these guys, man, they were just a team that just destroyed. What was the Super Bowl that I was thinking of that they scored? That it was just a blowout Super Bowl.
Let's see.
I got you. I'll look it up. But so all right. So if we talked about it last time, but what if you could predict it right now, who would win the Super Bowl right now? Who is your
Super Bowl
pick?
right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say that I'm still taking the Chiefs from the AFC side. And then NFC side.
The game I was talking about real quick was Seattle
Mm,
versus Denver, and Seattle beat Denver 43-8. That's the game I was thinking
Jesus
of.
Christ. That's crazy. That's embarrassing. Go to the Super Bowl and get scored on that much. Um, let's see. Super Bowl this year. I'm gonna say Chiefs and Chiefs and I've changed my pick. I know I said originally I don't like the Packers. I'm gonna be a hometowner here. Chiefs and Packers. Chiefs win it though.
So like I can't go away from the 49ers just because I think that they haven't
I
lost
think they've
enough
got a
to
good
not be
chance too.
good.
I
What do you
think
think
they've
about
got a
the
good chance too.
What do you think about the Bills?
I don't. I don't think so. I think they make the playoffs again. I think they get beat out in the first round again.
Yeah, I don't think Josh Allen's the gamer. I
I
think
don't
he's
think he's got.
good.
I don't. Yeah, I think he's
Yeah.
good. I don't think he's got that killer in him though.
Yeah, he like flips the
And
ball backwards when he's diving. You remember that? Like,
yeah,
what are you
yeah.
doing?
That's. I remember when I was watching that, and I texted you. I said, dude, he's literally trying to give them the game right now. Like
There you
that's
are.
not. There you are.
62,
Like,
62.
yeah, no. The only thing he missed about that is he was supposed to pitch it to him and then drop kick him
Yeah.
and then get up and tell him he loves his mama very much. He didn't do any of that. He just threw the ball to him. But like I remember watching it and I was like, yo, he's literally giving the ball away. Like that play right there says everything about him. He's about to get hit. You're in the playoffs. And instead of like I know you're a quarterback and you don't want to take hits. You got hit anyways, but take the hit. It's the playoffs. Just take it. Go down, get your ass up and go, play the next play. He's like tossing it back. He literally got scared, I think, about like this. I mean, I would too, dude's big, but I don't play in the NFL. So I'm a little bit, I got to pass on being scared in that situation. He does not. So like, I just, yeah, no, I don't think the Bills are going to do it. I think AFC, I think it's going to be Chiefs. And if the Ravens can get past their first round curse, I think they'll play for the AFC title. I think Chiefs go on. And then I say AFC championship. I see a rematch again. Packers, 49ers. And the only reason why I say that is because I think the Packers are going to have a really great seed going into the playoffs, which is going to make things a little bit easier for them. And the reason why I say that is because our division got really light. Like
Yeah,
the Vikings are not going to be the team they used to be. Chicago's got a QB battle between Mitchell Trubisky and Nick Foles. Like,
yeah.
come
The
on
battle
now.
of
And
the
then the
cupcakes.
Lions, yeah, Lions, no. So I think we're going to go in. I mean, looking across our division, there's no reason why we don't crank out at least 6 wins just within our division. There's no reason why we don't beat them all. But stranger things have happened, though. We could see it could change. Um, Speaking
So,
of the QB battle, though, in Chicago, who do you think's going to win that one, Mitch or Nick Foles?
oh, I'm honestly
Green
upset they
jacket,
didn't.
gold jacket. Who gives a shit? They're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
suck
yeah.
either way.
I'm honestly upset that they didn't take Cam Newton. I thought that would have been a good move for them. But
Yeah.
if Nick Foles stays healthy for more than like 3 quarters, I think he'll be a much better player than Mitchell Trubisky is. If Mitchell Trubisky can figure out how to hit a receiver in stride and then lead a receiver to where he wants him instead of throwing to the receiver, I think he'll be just fine. I think that he's got like 15 years to develop, and by that time he'll be retired. So I don't think he'll ever get there. And I think he's a shifty quarterback. I just think that they obviously, if you think about it, they drafted him over Patrick Mahomes
And Deshaun Watson.
and Deshaun Watson. So
I
you
bet you
know
they're
what?
feeling like dumbasses on that one.
Well, I mean, and it's not like he was ever that good either. Like I get it. He was at
I
North
don't know.
Carolina.
Yeah.
They're okay, but like he wasn't like the Ryan Leaf or the Johnny Manziel where he was just a baller and then he sucked it up. I never had high expectations for the guy. Like I drafting him, I was thinking, oh, they're drafting a backup. You know what I mean? Like a dude that can fill in for 2 quarters, score a touchdown, and be okay. But now he's like got this pressure to be the starter. Dude, come on. And he doesn't have the pieces around him. He doesn't have the receivers. He doesn't have the tight end. He's got an okay tight end. He's got okay receivers, right? Like very average at best. He's got average running backs. He's got average offensive line, above average defense, a really good defense now. Actually, they picking up Robert Quinn. He's gonna be Rex Grossman 2.0. They're gonna if they live, it's because their defense is gonna do the living, right? So, like we'll see. I mean, if Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn can get to the quarterback every play, they could win something. But we know that doesn't happen. So Nick Foles plays well and doesn't get hurt. You can see the Bears make the playoffs. I mean, I don't see them being any contender in the playoff run, but I could see them making the playoffs. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and if they want to resurrect Brian Urlacher's career and bring him back, that might help them a lot too. Walter Payton too, bring him back from the dead. Rest in peace, Walter Payton. What a great dude. But bring Sweetness back. They might be able to win something,
Yeah.
but otherwise, man, they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that division is one of the most historic divisions and one of the coolest divisions because they were like the OGs of football, like the Packers and Chicago and Detroit. They were like the OGs, but um, the Packers have just dominated that division for a while, and the Vikings have as well. But the Vikings, like you said, fell off. They lost Xavier Rhodes, which he hasn't been great anyways, but lost Everson Griffin. Dalvin Cook can't stay healthy, which I know he did okay this year. Kirk Cousins is trash. They
Traded
lost
Stephon
Stephon
Diggs.
Diggs for nothing. I don't know, man. We'll see. I think that the 49ers are. I still think they're the favorite. You can't deny them. I think the Cowboys are going to be better. They'll be a low line playoff team. We'll see how Mike McCarthy does out there, but I could see the Packers being the championship. Seattle's still there. Like obviously, they're in a tough division. New Orleans is still there. They got better with Emmanuel Sanders on that offense. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Man, the NFC is gonna be tough. Like even Arizona, like I know that they're not very good, but they were a 500 team. They competed this season, man. Like they
They were a
were
500 team, and they just added
the
DeAndre
best receiver,
Hopkins
the second best receiver in the league.
and got out from underneath David Johnson's contract.
Yep.
Basically cleared up cap space with that trade and got a beast of a receiver.
Wait,
So
what were they
I bet,
talking about? Bruce Arians was talking. Not Bruce Arians, was it? I don't know why I said Bruce Arians. He used to be the Cardinals coach. Sorry.
mhm.
What's his name? Bill O'Brien was talking crap about DeAndre Hopkins, talking about like his past and stuff. I was like, dude, just leave the guy alone. Like he hasn't been committed of any crimes. He plays football. He kicks some butt for you. Like you're gonna trade him for
Yeah,
nothing? Like what?
yeah, he
Like,
traded him for nothing, and the dude is like in the like prime of his career right now.
oh,
Like,
and I bet Bill O'Brien like pooped his pants when he saw the Bills what they gave up for Stephon Diggs. He's probably like, dang, dude, I could have got a first round draft pick for this guy.
yeah,
Like,
dude, yeah,
what? The
with
Cowboys
yeah,
gave up first round
what
for
he got
Amari.
for him was yeah, that was it. Dude, just a terrible trade, and it kind of makes me wonder if there was something kind of stewing like behind closed doors that
Who
maybe
cares?
we don't know about. Yeah,
If
either
they
way,
if
keep
they
him, but
if they well don't
or
keep
at
him, but
least get
like
something better for him. Get something better
right.
for him.
If we don't know about it, it's more than likely the other teams don't know about it. So why not you just if you've got something hot hidden, at least get something for him. If he ends up being Aaron Hernandez, he ends up being Aaron Hernandez. This is what it is. You still got the draft picks. Like, like
Yeah.
take your first round, take the
Mhm.
money, stupid. Like,
Take the money, stupid. Be like Tiger Woods and his daddy. Yeah, no, dude, yeah, the absolute idiots. I think with that trade. Now Cam Newton, he didn't get traded. Remember, it was
they
rumored they
released
were
them.
talking, or not rumored. I know they were talking though about how they were basically telling him, "Hey, explore other teams. We'll try and trade you." Right?
Mhm.
It kind of makes me wonder, like with Cam Newton, how many teams are interested in having him for one? Because we still got to find a landing spot. He's still got to find a landing spot to go to, right? But like
Mhm.
one, how many teams are actually interested in him right now? But two, though, how many of them are? I think there's some interested, but I think they don't want to give up a lot for him, like hence draft picks or something that Carolina would have taken for him, which is probably why they released him. But where do you think Cam Newton's going
I
since he
think
didn't get
he's
traded?
I think he's going to the
Because now he's
first.
got his choice.
Well, I think he's going to the first team that loses a like a starting quarterback. um, to be
You
fair,
don't think
like
he'll
if
get signed this offseason?
I, it could, I mean, it's possible, but we'll see. Like, I mean, I think people are not willing to take that risk on him. I could see honestly if like the Patriots are like the obvious, like, okay, they don't have a quarterback right now, but I think the Patriots are going to go with like this season and they're gonna let it play out, and they may draft a quarterback and then like play with that quarterback from then on, whatever. But for me, man, like I really think that a good spot would be the Cowboys, and the reason I say that is he's a similar player to Dak. He might cost a little bit more than we want in a backup, but we've got an okay backup. Cooper Rush is okay, but he would make sense if Dak's got an AC joint injury. Um, you never know, man. I know the Cowboys are going to sign him. Probably a 4 or 5 year deal. He'll be the highest paid NFL player ever after this deal. He'll probably get done before, I imagine, before June. So I think they have till June 1st. So they're going to get that done, and he's going to be re-signed. No big deal, but just to give like some security, I think it would make sense to sign him. I don't think now will the Cowboys actually do that. I don't think so. I don't really know like the logical landing spot for Cam. Maybe the Cardinals as a backup to Kyler. I could see maybe the Texans as a backup to Deshaun Watson. I'm just thinking of mobile quarterbacks and where a good landing spot for Cam would be. I don't think it makes sense to have him back up your traditional quarterbacks like a Tom Brady or uh,
Correct.
like anybody like that, and Nick Foles or an Aaron Rodgers, just because like he's not that style player, and you would have
He's
to
not going to fit that scheme.
yeah, you have to completely change the way you play. Now, if you put him in a spot like I think he would do fine in like a San Francisco offense or like a Seattle's offense. Um, but I don't think that you can put him in like a spread offense and make him throw the ball 40 times. Like, you know what I mean? I just don't think that he's that guy. I think that he's a power option, power run, play action, type of player. Man, really, the team that I was thinking about he would be awesome playing for would have been the freaking Titans. Like, I know they just signed Tannehill, but like, man, that makes so much sense to me. Like
Yeah.
that offense. But I think the Cardinals, the Panthers did him a little dirty, man. I think that he's still the guy. And I don't think Bridgewater is any better than Cam is, man. Like average at best, you know. I just think that they kind of
Yeah,
did Cam dirty.
yeah. I think Bridgewater came in with the Saints there this last year and kind of had a little bit of a prove it moment, but I still don't think he's better than Cam. I think the problem with Cam though is he keeps getting hurt, so it's like one of those. Does he hold up wherever he goes? And I think that's what people are worried about too.
They showed him
Um,
on his Instagram or Twitter. He was like working out. Man, he's shredded up right now. Like he looks like
yeah,
he's game to play, dude. Like he's ready. I
he's
like
probably
Cam,
ready
man. I've
to.
always liked him. I like his
Yeah,
flair. You know,
I like that. He's fun to watch, man.
he's a former Blinn College transfer player. He played at Blinn before he went
Yeah,
to Auburn.
yeah. He played
Um,
at Florida with Tebow, I think, before that, right?
yep,
Yeah, he
yep,
was
yep.
he was Tebow's backup, then got in a little bit of trouble, went back to JUCO for a minute, and then
I think he played. I
and
think
then
that's where our boy Tyreek Rollison. I think that he played with him out in Auburn for a little bit.
that's
I
what I
don't.
heard. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I
I'd
heard
have to
about that.
fact check that one, but
Yeah, I'm not
like
sure on that, but that was
I've
the
always
rumor of the town whenever he came to Commerce.
yeah. Well, I mean, Tyreek was the top dual threat quarterback in the country
Hmm.
when he was coming out of
Yeah,
high school out of Sulphur Springs. Like I remember watching Tyreek on TV on ESPN. It was Sulphur Springs playing the state championship, and he was just beat. Man, he just destroyed everybody. He was so good. Um, do you remember that guy that played with us in softball, Shane?
yeah.
What's his last name?
Hmm.
I think
I
he
don't
played
remember.
football with Tyreek
I don't remember his
in
last
Sulphur
names, but I
Springs.
know who you're talking about. I
Shane
know who that
McQueen or
is.
something like that. I don't know. Anyways, he played football with him at Sulphur Springs. So, um, but yeah, like I mean, anyways, like Cam, dude, I just think he's an electric quarterback. I think he's got the arm strength. He's in his head a little bit, but I think after this last year, you know, him kind of chilling on the sideline, I think might help him. And he just got to stay healthy. He's got that. What's his injury? Like a shoulder injury, I think.
Mm, I'm not sure. Look, we'll Google it real quick because I
I
am
got
not
you.
100% on that.
It's
Uh,
foot. Oh, yeah, foot injury. Sorry, I don't know why I was thinking foot. To repair the Liz Frank injury. I don't know what that means.
yeah.
I mean,
Either way, it's his foot. I mean that, which from what I hear, he's gonna have to start transitioning his game though, and become a little bit better of a passer of the football though. I mean, he's always been a good. I mean, he's a good passer of the football, but he's gonna have to start doing that because he's got to start protecting himself now that he's getting older. I think. Something that I'd heard and read up on was they were talking about maybe going to San Francisco as a backup just to work with the QB coach there, kind of get his game back under him, get his arm better, and then maybe the next year try and go somewhere else. I don't know though. Um, I Everybody keeps saying the Patriots. I don't think he goes to the Patriots. I don't see him fitting in with that style that they run there. I mean, maybe they would change it for him, but I don't see him fitting in with that at all. Just because, like, if they keep the offense the same as what Tom Brady was running there, then it's not going to work out for him. I don't think. But maybe if he went there, they would have to make a lot of changes to it. Um, Now, franchise tags. We had talked about a little bit of franchise tags. Obviously, Dak is, and we'll get to Dak real quick, and then we'll wrap it up here soon. But what do you think? You'd mentioned Ryan Tannehill getting paid, and Derrick Henry got franchise tag.
it's a
I think
sin.
that was shitty. What do you think?
I think it's a sin, man. They hoed him.
Yeah, I I was a good fan of the Titans during their run just because it was nice to see the underdog. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I hope that they do god awful right now because I think that's terrible. You took the guy. So Tannehill came in. He goes on this big run. But if you really look at it, though, he went on that run because Derrick Henry was killing it. He was running people over like nobody could tackle him. He ran for like 100 and something, I don't know the exact yardage, but he ran for a lot of yards in the playoffs. I, I I don't think Tannehill is the reason for their success. I think he just did a good job at managing the game. And then you pay the game manager, but your superstar that's running over everybody, you didn't pay him nothing. I mean, you're paying him something, but you franchise tagged him. I would not be surprised if either one of two things happen. Either Henry holds out, or he plays this year, and then at the end of this year, he says "F you" to the Titans, and he goes somewhere else.
Mm. Man,
Because
it's a
that,
sad day. But so
what do you think about
that's
it?
oh man, that's the story of this league. Quarterbacks get paid. Quarterbacks are the center of the universe, and if you look at their contracts compared to everybody else, they just get astronomically paid more than anybody else. We're talking about a player that like Dak is looking to get $35 million a year over a 5-year period, $120 million guaranteed. A Derrick Henry contract would be like 13 million a year. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be anywhere in the ballpark of that quarterback. But I'll tell you this: they look at running backs
And they don't pay him.
as they look
They
at
don't
running
get it.
backs as a short term investment. They are a 2 to 3, 4 years at best, and they're washed up. They don't make them like Emmitt Smith anymore, Walter Payton, Jim Brown, or even Jim Brown didn't last that long. But like those guys are long gone because people hit harder, they're faster, they're stronger. People break down, and the head injuries are more like on our radar now. So people just see. I think that teams see running backs as one injury away from not playing again, whereas quarterbacks are protected. They're like the baby of the NFL, and yeah, they are one injury away, just like we saw with Alex Smith. But it's less likely that a quarterback is going to get his career ended by a hit than a running back. Running back is putting his head down and getting hit and getting hit and getting hit. Eventually, that breaks on your body, but that quarterback's going to stay in there, and he ultimately is the final factor of that game. He's the final decision maker. He's the final. Everything falls on him, and I just think that they made a poor judgment call in first of all, paying Tannehill that much didn't make much sense to me, but whatever. And then,
100%. I don't think he's
and
worth that, no.
Derrick Henry not paying him, like give him some kind of contract, man. Like, gee whiz, and it's a trend, man. You see it because like Todd Gurley, he got released. Melvin Gordon, they didn't re-sign him. Uh, Devontae Freeman, he got cut. Like these dudes were like on top of the world 2 to 3 years ago. You don't think they can get back there? Maybe you fix your offensive line and actually hand them the ball, let them recover for a season, and they're back in the game, man. Like you see Adrian Peterson, he tore his ACL, and if he had any bit of a team, I think Adrian Peterson's running over everybody. You know what I mean? Like I think
Mhm.
that he's not the best like he used to be, but I think he could still run. And I think that people should look at running backs like Adrian Peterson and think, okay, they can last 10 years, they can last 12 years. They're not 3 and 4 and done. They're not Sean Alexander. They're not those dudes. They're like LaDainian Tomlinson. How long did he play? He played forever at a high level.
Mhm.
Um, I
Yep.
don't know, man. Like, it sucks. I mean, the Cowboys paid Zeke, which I was pretty happy. Like, we paid him a little bit more than I wanted to, but I was glad that we stuck to him. Hopefully Zeke sees that and sees that as a blessing that he should keep playing at a high level and not eat a lot of donuts and sit on his ass and do nothing. But, everybody was like, oh, you're paying him Todd Gurley money. He's going to go the Todd Gurley way. Well, he hasn't yet. So knock on wood.
Yeah.
But Todd Gurley didn't do crap last season, and he didn't do crap in the playoff game prior to that. Like, you
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. And I think the Rams have a lot of good pieces. They don't understand it. Like Austin Eckler is a good player, but he ain't that every down back. Like, I don't know,
Mhm.
man.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't give him a contract of some sort. Like you said, the contracts that running backs are getting are not. I mean, like you said, it'd probably be in the ballpark of 13 million, and then you turn around and you pay the quarterback, 30 plus, which is all fine and dandy. But it's like if you're going to pay somebody 30 plus, why don't you just go ahead and pay the other dude, the 13 or whatever it is that he's going to get paid, and then you lock him down, you keep him for a little bit, and then you go from there. Now, what do you think is going to happen with Dak? You think he's going to? You said you think he's going to get a contract before the season starts.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's already reports circulating around the interwebs. They're talking about him getting a 4 to 5 year deal. It's going to be, they don't know exactly. So I follow Jane Slater, and I think she's like the most reputable reporter out there for the Cowboys. She's always reporting stuff before it happens, and what she says is probably going to happen. But her most recent thing on Dak, give me a second here, I can find it. Everything's about freaking coronavirus right now, though. It sucks.
Yeah, that's another reason why I'll be glad it's done too. I'd like something else in my news feed.
Oh, the last big thing was obviously the Cowboys got Dontari Poe from the Panthers, but hold on. So yeah, what I was seeing was 4 to 5 years. Obviously they're wanting to make it right. They said that there's no like animosity in the talks at all, so they're actually talking. They're looking at like, so before it was like a $33 million a year deal with 106 million guaranteed, and he denied it, which would still make him like overall the highest paid player in the league. But
Yeah,
um, hold on, guaranteed wise, not contract actually. Um,
right.
trying to see what she hasn't had recently anything, but what I've been reading was like they're looking at like a 35, 36, more like Jared Goff numbers, but higher guaranteed money than Jared Goff. So if you look at Jared Goff's contract, um, he obviously, I think he legit got overpaid. Like this dude
Oh,
is,
100%.
this dude
He
is,
he
you know. So here you go.
he performed
He
whenever it needed the most. He performed on contract year and he got paid because of it. But for whatever the Rams, when they're on contract year and that player does well, those dudes get paid for sure. Yeah, because Jared Goff's got 110 million guaranteed
yeah. So
on a 4-year deal.
yeah. So 4 years, 134 million. So that gives you 33.5 million. So a year. So the Cowboys are looking at paying Dak more than that. So they're looking at like a 35,
Mhm.
36 million a year.
Just less guaranteed.
Yeah, no, I think more guaranteed. I think that prior to that, it was less guaranteed. And I think they're looking at giving him more guaranteed. I think that's so Dak wants a shorter contract, more guaranteed. I think he wants to bet on himself again and get paid more because he knows that the market's going to go up for it. But
Sure.
I'm going to quote like old Pat McAfee is like don't ask for mo money because you're gonna don't give up your for show money for mo money because you're gonna end up with no money, right? Like you gotta
Mhm.
avoid that. You really have to watch, like, especially with the economy the way it is, dude. Like the demand for the NFL could go down, and people are gonna be like, well, I don't want to pay these players as much. Like we're not making as much revenue. Like
Sure.
you may not get paid. You should go for that money
Mhm.
and just take it, man. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I think he should. I think that it's crazy for him to turn down the initial contract. 105 guaranteed, 5 years. I think it was like you said, like 34, 35, whatever the actual
It's
dollar amount
33
was
a
per year.
year. Yeah.
I mean that's insane money to make. I mean, but
And the reason why it was the most money ever, because I think it was for a 6 year deal. So if you added
mm,
up
no,
them,
no, no. They proposed him it was a 5-year deal that he got
so it
proposed.
would have been more money than Jared Goff, regardless. Like
Right.
total, not per
It
year,
just
but over the
it wasn't guaranteed. It wasn't the most guaranteed. I think what he's pursuing is the guaranteed money, and
guaranteed
then
in a shorter contract.
yeah, and shorter contract. From what I heard, he wants 4 years,
Yeah.
or from what I've read. I think that the Cowboys are going to sign him before the year starts. I think they'd be stupid not to,
Yeah.
because yes, and the more I thought about it. So at first I was joking around saying if they don't sign him, he's going to hold out. I don't think he's going to hold out because under the franchise tag, he's still going to get paid like 33 million a year,
What is he going to
which
hold
is
out on?
way more.
We may not even have fucking camp at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, in the event that they do have camp though, like I was always joking that he'd hold out. I don't think he would hold out any, even if there is a camp for him to hold out of, because under the franchise tag, he'd still get paid about 30. I was reading up on it, said 33 million a year, and then that's already double what Tom Brady's making for this next year. Tom Brady's only making 15 million per year for this 2 years that he's there, so he's going to get paid 30 million over the course of 2 years. But
And think about
so he's
this,
going to make
going.
33 million, and he's been on a rookie contract that he got drafted in like the
Yep.
fourth round, something like
Yep.
that.
Yep. Fourth
So he hadn't
round.
been making nowhere near that amount of money.
Yeah, like
He'd be
600
he'd be
carry.
crazy not to play. Yeah, he'd be crazy not to play.
So think about
But
this though.
if he plays, he could leave though after that year.
Well, yeah, but think about this. He's not going to hold out because he'll be completely screwing himself and the team because you have a whole new coach. You have a whole new. It sounds like they're going to reconstruct the offense, whole new defense. Just the team in general has changed. And you hold out for training camp and decide you want to play game one, and you suck butt. Now guess whose stock has dropped? You like 100% yours. So you hold out, you can screw yourself. That's why I like. Yeah, if it's Jason Garrett, it's same as always. Like, cool, you could roll in and not play the first couple games. But if it's a new coach and new offense and new everything, I think you're kind of screwing yourself if you hold out. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, you gotta take the money when you can. I think that, but like I said, everything I've read, I think by June we're gonna see a contract. I think we'll see a contract by the end of April. To be
Yeah,
fair, so.
yeah,
Um,
definitely by June,
I think before the draft, we'll
maybe
see
April.
a contract done before the draft because I think the
Yeah,
Cowboys are
I
going to
think
want to set their money out and just they're going to want to be done so they can know who to get for the draft. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it would make more sense to have it done before the draft. I think they're going to pay him. I think they'd be stupid not to.
oh, they
You
will
run the
they will
risk
pay
of
him.
you run the risk of him playing under the franchise tag and then leaving. Lock him down for even if it's only 4 years. Lock him down for 4 years. You get 4 years out of him. More than likely, he'll renegotiate and stay in Dallas after the 4 years, as long as nothing crazy happens during that time. And then the only thing is you'd have to pay him more probably at that point as well.
Yeah.
But I think he gets it done for sure. But yeah. So, but man, we've been rolling for a good minute now. We're hitting the hour and a half mark. This episode we did
Yeah, no, it's
good minute. Hey, it flies by, man. It
if
flies by.
if anybody's listening this far into it, remember that our episode 3 we talked to Ricky Collins Jr. It was an awesome podcast. He answered a lot of good questions and he gave us a lot of information about the Canadian Football League. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, we got a real life Canadian football receiver, plays for the Edmonton Eskimos, on our podcast on episode 3. Check it out on all the social media outlets, your Twitters, your Instagrams, your Facebookies, all those different outlets, and you can listen to it. It's on the YouTube app. We're looking to get this podcast on the podcast app on iTunes as well. So bear with us on that. But yeah, and we're also, both of us are kind of looking at venturing a little bit out and starting our own podcasts in different lanes of life. Maybe not talk about sports, talk about other things. So look for that in the future as well. And we're going to keep developing this podcast into something great. Obviously, we're learning, you're learning us, and we're trying to get better and better every day. So, anything else you got, Dylan?
Oh man, I think you hit the nail on the head, man. If you are still listening at this point, we're an hour and a half in.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate the support so much. If you are listening at this point, hour and a half in, drop a comment. Let us know. I want to know who you are, and just see how many people that we do have that listen to us all the way through, and maybe not for the first 5 minutes of the episode.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks,
We
Dad.
appreciate
Appreciate
this.
y'all.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Y'all are great. But I mean, as far as things go, appreciate the support from everybody so far. Share us on Facebook. Share us, retweet us. Share us on Instagram if you can. AJ handles the Instagram. I'm the boomer of us. I can't do the Instagrams for whatever reason. So, however you share on Instagram, please do it. We're also almost at 100 likes on Facebook. I saw that today. We're at 99. So share it, get us to that 100, and let's keep on rolling.
And we
Thank
both
y'all for this.
do the graphic design, so we bounce back and forth on pictures and designing and those types of things. So
Exactly.
yeah,
And and also if you guys know anybody in the sports world that, you want to hear on the podcast, drop us a message. Let us know. We'll reach out to them, see if we can get them on, and go from there.
heck yeah,
So,
cool,
but anyways, man, hour and a half in, dude, we killed it. You trying to play some NHL?
absolutely. All right.
All right, let's do it.